What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we're talking about Lucasfilm, Pablo Hidalgo, and the biggest Star Wars YouTube channel, Star Wars Theory. Now, if you've been paying any attention to my channel for the last few years, you'll know that I have gone to war with Lucasfilm on many occasions. And my channel basically got a lot of traction because after The Last Jedi, after I finally decided where I stood on that movie, because it was an emotional roller coaster for me, because I am a Star Wars fan, I finally decided where I stood, and I really disliked the movie. Then the treatment of the fans is what led me to start really criticizing Disney Star Wars, because like I said, I can accept a bad movie. What I can't accept is when you mistreat the fans for calling you out for your bad movie, and that's exactly what happened. Well, I went on to gain some following from all of this simply because I was one of the few people, I wasn't the only one, but I was one of the few people at the time that was calling Disney and Lucasfilm out. And the more that I criticized them, the worse they became. And it just started a path of me calling them out and then seeing how they were treating other fans and then calling them out for treating other fans this way, and then burning some bridges that I had from Lucasfilm previously before I criticized Disney Star Wars, because yes, I did have a relationship with people at Lucasfilm before I started criticizing Disney Star Wars. And once I started criticizing it, I lost all of those relationships, because that's how the game is played. If you bite the hand that feeds you, that hand will make you starve. And I really lost interest in caring about anything that Disney or Lucasfilm said or did, or maintaining any of those relationships, because it became pretty obvious to me that we're dealing with a very bad company full of bad people, started by Kathleen Kennedy, because she is the one that has introduced all of this nonsense, and the people that work there with her are horrible people. It's just a very bad environment that Kathleen Kennedy has built at Lucasfilm. Pablo Hidalgo is someone that I have had many interactions with. There are very many videos on this channel that I've documented all of this stuff with myself and Pablo Hidalgo. He is not a good person. He's been going after Star Wars fans like crazy for years. This is no breaking news whatsoever. Well, now, today, after all of the stuff that every single Star Wars fan that's been paying the smallest bit of attention has seen, now today, he is now going to battle with Star Wars Theory, it appears. So here is a tweet from Star Wars Theory, and he says, Pablo chimes in to make fun, deletes the tweet, then puts one of them as his header. How is this acceptable for someone so high up at Lucasfilm? You're telling people it's not okay to have emotions about the work your company produces, and you make fun of them for crying. Not okay. Now, let me be clear. I sympathize with Star Wars Theory in this respect, because I have seen firsthand how Lucasfilm treats their fans. My problem with this is, where have you been? Where have you been for the last 3 years? Like, just now because it's coming to your front door? Suddenly now it's important enough to address? Again, I'm happy Star Wars Theory is going to address this, but it does raise the questions as to, was all the other Star Wars fans that have been under attack consistently by Lucasfilm employees, was that never enough to call them out? Of course it was, and that's why people like me and World-Class Bullshitters and Comic Artist Pro Secrets and Nerdrotic and That Star Wars Girl and Jesse Milestone and so many others have, gained our following, because so many people were seeing this happening and no one was calling it out except for a few people. And then it built this massive community, and it showed you how many people were actually being attacked by Lucasfilm. So this whole thing about how is this acceptable from someone so high up at Lucasfilm, it hasn't been acceptable. It hasn't been acceptable. But people with more influence than someone like me have refused to call it out. And now suddenly, because it came to your front door, now it's okay to call out. That's where my question is. Again, we'll see what happens. Happy he's going to call him out. But Lucasfilm has been doing this for a long time, and this is why. It is so hard to enjoy anything that this company produces. Again, I've been very honest about where I stand on The Mandalorian, and I don't love it as much as everyone else, but I definitely enjoy it. And a lot of Star Wars fans had similar reactions that Star Wars Theory had with Luke appearing at in the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. It was an incredible moment, and so many of us were so happy to see Luke Skywalker finally return because of what we've been through with Lucasfilm and what they did in The Last Jedi, and how Rian Johnson treated the fans, and Chuck Wendig, and Pablo Hidalgo, and Kathleen Kennedy, and all of these other executives at Lucasfilm, and these influential people and these powerful people just trashing the fans simply for having an opinion. We have seen this over and over again for years, and we are tired of it. We've been tired of it. We've been tired of them calling us racist and sexist and misogynistic for having an opinion on a movie. And Pablo Hidalgo has been at the head of that pack. He's been doing this for years. He did it to so many people before he did it to me, and I called him out. And that's why eventually I found myself in his crosshairs, because I was calling him out for what he was doing to other people. And this is what we have to have. We have to have more people holding Lucasfilm accountable for what they've done to the fandom, for what they've done to the brand. We're tired of it. We've been tired of it. Why is it now suddenly, finally now? Because he came to you? What about all the other people he's been doing it to? And look, I'm not trying to throw shade at Star Wars Theory. I'm just simply pointing out that if he didn't bring this to you, if he didn't make fun of you, you wouldn't be calling this out? What about the hundreds of other people that he's done this to? This dude literally put the women at Geeks and Gamers on blast. Years ago, I made a video, made many videos on this. Put the women at Geeks and Gamers on blast. That's the type of person Pablo Hidalgo is. He is a terrible, terrible person. And this is a Lucasfilm problem. This is a shitty company ran by terrible people. They hate their fans. They hate the fans, the people that have kept this brand relevant for over 40 years. They hate them. They despise them. And I've seen people labeling me and other channels hate channels and pushing hate clicks. No, we've been calling shit out because we've been seeing it right in front of our face. We haven't been scared to call it out. We haven't been scared to be labeled racist and sexist by Lucasfilm over and over again. That's exactly what has happened. And again, I say it again. I had relationships with people at Lucasfilm until I decided to have an opinion they didn't like. And then suddenly, I'm no longer worthy of their time because I wasn't giving the opinion that they like. This is how they operate. This is how they deal with you. And finally now, maybe we're going to get some next level attention to this problem that has been running through the Star Wars community for several years now. Maybe finally we're going to get some bigger eyes on it. But it still doesn't change the fact. If this didn't happen to you, would you be addressing the bigger problem? Because this problem has been happening for years and years and years, and we've heard nothing. That is my big issue here. I'm interested to see how this all plays out. Again, not trying to throw shade. I respect the fact that Star Wars Theory has done a great job with his channel. He's done a wonderful job of developing everything he's done. He's created stuff. He's created the Vader fan film, and people have loved it. He's heading towards 3 million subs, and that is nothing to be, upset about. That's something to celebrate. He has done a fantastic job. But this moment right here calls into question a lot of things. You're telling people it's not okay to have emotions about the work your company produces. They've been saying it. How is this acceptable from someone so high up at Lucasfilm? They've been doing this for 3 years. Even more. This is what we have been saying. I got a screenshot of the original post you retweeted that was deleted. I don't know who this is. If you feel compelled to have an emotional reaction by Star... So I'm not sure. Yeah, so that's the reply to Pablo Hidalgo. And yeah, I mean, Pablo Hidalgo he threw shade at me. He threw shade at me. He put like some kind of header up that he was throwing shade at me. I've done videos on this on my DDayCobra channel, and on this channel. I've talked about it over and over again. He's taken shots at me for my car videos. He's taken shots at me for many other things. This is what he does. And when people called this out, they were accused of pushing hate. Pushing hate. No, it's called telling the truth and calling bullshit out and not being scared of being labeled something. That's what's been going on. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Pablo Hidalgo is a garbage person. Lucasfilm is a garbage company. Kathleen Kennedy is the worst leader I've ever seen. And until she is gone, we can't look forward to anything with Star Wars. We just can't do it. This is a bad company ran by bad people, and they hate the fans. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Solo lost money. Raylos are weird. Fuck Lucasfilm, and we will talk to you later.